Islam in the pocket with Dustin Poirier just ripping to the body in the clinch. I mean, they were head to head. What do they call that? Sean Strickland. What's Sean Strickland say? They were bro. They were doing the man dance. He's talking to Mike on the ground like, brother, you know I deserve this. I have to fight for title, brother. You have to give up.
Move, Mike.
What's good, fight fans? Back with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about UFC fights I would show to a random or maybe a casual friend or maybe even a boxing fan to try to convert them into watching more MMA. Basically try to get them into the sport because we all know boxing, that's not a real fight. MMA is an actual fight. And let's be honest, nobody in the black community watches MMA. I'm going to be honest. I'm like the only person in my family that I know of, that I talk to, that watches UFC. So like, gonna have to start trying to convert more people. But anyway, I'm not gonna waste your time on a long intro. Let's get straight to the video. All right, let's get into the first fight I want to talk about. We got O'Malley versus Yan at UFC 280. Now let's talk about the backstory. Sean O'Malley was kind of skipped the line, and he was ranked like number 11th, and he was coming off of eye poking someone and got granted a number 1 contenders fight. So, you know, O'Malley got that Dana White privilege.
You got Dana White privilege.
They threw him up against a killer against Yan, and Sean O'Malley did not disappoint. We're going to talk about the controversy here in a second, but I went back and rewatched this fight, y'all. I got a different opinion. This is probably the two best strikers in the bantamweight division, and the back and forth. I mean, in the second round, when O'Malley rocked Yan, and then literally like 30 seconds later, Yan rocked him back. I swear to God, this is one of the best fights I've ever seen in my life. So let's talk about the fight. Let's talk about why it's controversial. They gave Sean O'Malley the dub, but everyone thinks Petr Yan won. I went back and rewatched it. Let's break it down. First round, Yan is pressing O'Malley, and O'Malley's on the back foot, but Yan's really not throwing much output. I'm giving O'Malley the first round. Petr got a takedown at the end of the round with like a minute left, but he didn't do anything with it. It's like the whole Dricus versus Sean Strickland. Dricus never did anything with his takedown, and that takedown, I mean, I'm sure he picked him up in the air like that, but bro, he didn't do any damage with the takedown. And O'Malley was, you know what I'm saying, standing on the back foot, peppering him with long-range distance shots. The second round was one of the more dominant rounds Petr had. He got caught, like I said earlier, he got rocked, but then he came back, and he was piecing O'Malley up, ended up getting takedown, and then on those takedowns, he was doing some more damage. So I gave second round to Petr Yan. So in the third round, last round, they're going back and forth, close fight, super close fight. I think it's 1-1 going into the third. O'Malley throws that knee he hit Cheeto with and busts Yan up. And they said, TJ Dillashaw said, damage over everything. And he busted Yan up with that and had Yan really rocked. I need to go back and look at the significant strides. I feel like O'Malley outstruck him that round too. But that knee he landed, oh my God, nasty. I think, yeah, O'Malley did finish the fight on his back, but bro, O'Malley had the most damage. I got it 2-1 O'Malley, and I was one of those people for years thinking Yan easily won that fight just because of the wrestling dominance and him being on the front foot. But bro, if you're going to be on the front foot in that first round, you still got to throw output. Yan, I don't remember him throwing a lot of output. I'm being honest, y'all. Yeah, so I definitely show this fight to a person I'm trying to get to watch UFC. And I like how in the end, everybody's mind switched up how O'Malley didn't deserve the fight to he's a real contender in that division. So yeah, shout out O'Malley. He's proved he was a dog in that fight. Next one we want to talk about, Ilia Poirier. Every time I say Ilia's name, I can't do it without doing the Conor McGregor. This is one of those classic movie moments where someone gets caught and they end up coming back. One of those classic UFC comebacks. In that first round, Jai's doing a great job of keeping his distance, you know, keeping Ilia on the outside because you do not want to be in the pocket, Charles Oliveira. You don't want to be in the fucking pocket with Ilia. And also, this is before Ilia moved up to lightweight. So Ilia's fighting a 6'1" lightweight. So he's up a division. Ilia's about 5'6", maybe 5'5".
Everywhere I go, I get the same fucking smirk with the biting lip.
I think this was a short notice fight. That's why Ilia had to move up a weight division. I think they just called him. So there's like a lot of factors going against Ilia in this fight. Ilia gets hit with a lead left high kick right on the chin, rocks him. Now, thank God Ilia came from a background of grappling. He's rocked, grabs onto the single leg, the one he got kicked with, and just wrestles Jaw to the ground and just holds him down, which it's understandable. If you get rocked and you want to do the Alexander Pantoja neck breathe half guard, that's understandable. So Ilia kind of did a little bit of that, kind of hit him with some little punches, but second round came out. We had another classic comeback. Ilia gets that boy up against the fence. If you are against the fence, well, it doesn't even matter. You can be out in the open too. Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira saw that. But if you're against the fence and you got nowhere to go, Ilia is gonna put your lights out. Your body is gonna go. It's like a fucking, like when Ilia hits you against the fence, it's like a balloon and it just deflates. Like people just go like limp. You remember when Jamal Hill got his arm broken and shit was just flopping limp? That's what it's like when you get hit with an Ilia Topuria punch, clean, and it connects. So Ilia gets him up against that fence, and you know, that's why I like Ilia, man. He switches it up. He'll go to the body, then come up top to get them hands to drop. I can't remember the exact combination. I think it was left hook to the body, and then he went the cleanest right hook. And bro, the way Jai Herbert fell was like, it's just one of the nastiest knockouts you'll ever see. I promise y'all, this is another one of them fights you gotta watch. Next we got Max Holloway versus Calvin Kattar. Just two warriors, two dogs. You know, Calvin was talking about this kid's a freshman. I'm the upperclassman. I'm gonna show him. And boy, that lit a fire under Max Holloway because Jesus Christ. I know y'all seen the clip of Dana saying like, yeah, that fight should have been stopped in the third round.
And I think that fucking Herb Dean should have stopped it in the fourth round.
Yeah,
he was wobbling all over the
he had him up against.
I don't know if Max was putting any pop in his shots, but I don't know how the fuck Calvin did not go down at least once. He hit him with 445 significant strikes. One of my favorite sequences is Max has got him up against the fence, and he's like literally like spamming, like a UFC 5 player, just spamming right elbows. And Kattar's just eating them, bro. This fight was on Fight Island, and this is during the COVID time, so it's real quiet. Max could hear the commentators, and they said, oh my God, he's landing the significant strike records. Max hears it. He's talking about count it up.
Point out DC!
And he's jabbing Calvin Kattar up, and then Calvin's trying to counter, and Max turns his head and just lean back. I said, don't dance. We just pull up our pants and do the rock away. Hey, and lean. Bro, Max is just leaning back out of these punches on some Matrix shit. One of the most dominant, one of the most one-sided fights you will ever see. I want to give a shout out to Calvin Kattar for just being a dog. I still don't know how he survived that. And shout out Max Holloway for putting on one of the best performances. Moving on. We got, UFC 302. Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier. Now, this is why Dustin is a fan favorite. He is always in wars. And he brought Islam Makhachev, the person who never gets in wars, into a war. Islam kind of had a war with Volk, but, you know, Volk don't got popped like that. Islam really don't got popped like that. So it's a more technical battle. First of all, the narrative going into this fight was that Dustin is going to get mauled in the first round. Now, granted, Islam did show up with some big-ass staff. Dustin Poirier has this magical power where all his opponents get stabbed. If Max Holloway shows up to UFC 318 with staff, Dustin, we got to talk, bro. But we all thought Islam was going to just submit him in the first or second round. Like, kind of what Kabib did. I think Kabib got him out in the third round, maybe third or fourth round. But we thought it was going to be similar to the Kabib fight. No. The first round, Dustin gets taken down on the first attempt. And got his back taken the whole first round. But after that, Islam could not get any takedowns. Dustin showed great wrestling defense. During the lead up to the fight, Dustin was telling Islam, hey, maybe you should listen to your coaches and box. And as I'm talking about, it's not more in MMA, it's not boxing, but nobody thought Islam had the technical kind of boxing skills to stand in the pocket with old DP. Now, the takedown threat does play a part of this, of why Islam's striking is so good, because people are so worried about the takedown. But Islam in the pocket with Dustin Poirier just ripping to the body in the clinch. I mean, they were fucking head to head. For what do they call that? Sean Strickland. What's Sean Strickland say? They were dick to dick, bro. They were doing the fucking man dance. Finally, in that fifth round, this is how much of a dog Islam Makhachev is. Bro, I'll never forget watching this fight live. Comment down below if y'all seen this before, but he grabbed Dustin's leg and spun this man around like a Beyblade. I'd never seen a takedown like that before, bro. And then he jumped on the ghillie, turned the ghillie into a darce, and had Dustin tapping, and then he didn't get him. The ref didn't get him off in time. Dustin went to sleep. That's one of the best finishes I've ever seen in my life, bro. Just that sequence, just how the fight was going, just how it was a war. This is definitely a fight. Again, the bad thing about kind of trying to show like casuals these fights is you got to explain like what's Islam's fighting style, what's Dustin's fighting style, the background, the backstory. That's why you kind of got to be all in on UFC to kind of understand fully what's going on. Big Shavkat versus Jeff Neal. Okay, we ain't seen Shavkat fight like this. We have not seen Shavkat fight like this, and we probably won't ever see this again. This is why I'm so disappointed when I watch Shavkat fight, because, again, this is the first fight I ever seen Shavkat fight. And this was back when I was a casual, because this was on UFC 285. So I tuned in at 10 o'clock thinking that's when John Jones was going to fight. This is when I was a casual, and I just wanted to see John Jones fight. I was looking like, man, I don't know these motherfuckers. I don't want to watch this fight. Bro, my mouth was open the entire... No homo. No diddy, bro.
I'm coming on that ass.
But what happened when I did?
No diddy.
Bro, they're fucking slugging in the pocket. At one point, Shavkat's mouthpiece falls out. This motherfucker's eating punches without his mouthpiece. I was like, what is going on? Joe Rogan had to tell Herb Dean, like, hey, bro, Shavkat ain't got his mouthpiece in. You got to take a pause moment. But it was such like a gritty war that you didn't want to break the tension because they were going at it. Second round, Shavkat gets that boy up against the fence, and he choked out Jeff Neal like you're fucking, like a little bro. I call it the big brother choke, bro. It's not a standard rear naked, bro. It's the big brother choke. You know how you be picking on your little cousins or your little brothers and you can get behind them and choke them out and they can't do nothing? Bro, that's what it looked like. And then Shavkat walks away and Jeff Neal is fucking passed out on the ground as he's walking away. And that's just like a fire-ass like picture. Dude, I thought Shavkat was going to be the most entertaining fighter. And now he smudges Wonder Boy up against the fence. And he smudges Ian Gary up against the fence. I don't want you to get CTE because you probably took a lot of damage during that fight. But can I just get one more performance like this? Like, is he going to fight the winner of Islam and JDM? Or is he going to have to fight again? That's another thing. He's always hurt sitting out. But anyway, I don't want to talk shit. Shavkat, you're the man for this fight. This really made me a UFC. This made me a UFC fan. Not just a Shavkat and Jeff Neal fan, a UFC fan. Definitely want to be showing this to the casuals. And the last one we want to talk about. Kabib versus Michael Johnson. Now, Kabib was already pissed going in this fight because he thought he should be fighting for the title. They get into the fight. Bro, I did not know Michael Johnson had hands like this back in the day, but he was piecing the fuck out of Kabib until Kabib got that takedown. I'm not gonna lie. And then when Kabib got him on the ground, he's talking to Mike on the ground like, brother, you know I deserve this. I have to fight for title, brother. You have to give up.
Move, Mike.
Bro, telling someone during a fight as you're beating the fuck out of them on the ground, you have to give up is some of the most disrespectful, rawest trash talk you're going to get. Then Khabib goes back to the chair and he's telling Dana, brother, I need title shot. Give me title shot. And Dana's like, yeah, you need to focus on this fight.
Let's focus on what we're going to do here. Okay, let's focus on what we're doing.
I know who I am.
Khabib, being the good guy he is, in the third round, instead of just keep beating the fuck out of him on the ground, he just takes his arm and he's talking to Michael Johnson saying, brother, if you don't tap, I'm going to have to break your arm. I'm like, bro.
You have to give up because I have to fight for the title. Even when I take his arm on Kimura, I can break his arm, but I go very slowly and I talk with him, brother, give up, please, because it's finished. I'm gonna break your arm or you have to give up, you know?
This is some next level shit. This is why Khabib is my favorite, bro. Just that mentality. This is what can make people fans of grappling. People that are going to push the pace with the grappling and keep moving positions, throwing punches, not just being boring. You can really make people a fan of this because I ain't going to lie. This might be my favorite type of fighting style. I love Ilia Tapor with all his knockouts and shit, but when you can take someone on the ground and take their will and just drown them, it's a different type of style, and you don't see it very often because not everybody's built like this. That's going to wrap up today's video. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, give me a like, bruh. You enjoyed the video if you stayed and watched the whole thing. And also, comment down below your fights that you have watched, that made you a fan of the sport, or fights you've tried to show your friends to get them to be a fan of the sport. I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. We out.
I'm him, I can tell you from the jump, I'm a different breed. Bought a new tech, free shot, no referee. I ain't gon' force, not shit, I'm a lady B. White gold shining, diamonds red like the 7C.